Hello, and welcome back to RPZ. And this is story time, D&D story time. And today will be the tale of a character whose powers transcended time and space itself. The tale of a character that derailed a campaign so hard that it's become one of the biggest memes amongst me and my friends. This is the tale of Yuichiro. Now, first, context. Yuichiro was originally a character that was created for from my brother for the sole purpose of designing a new type of card summoning in Yu-Gi-Oh! We were thinking of, oh well, what would be the next type of summoning in Yu-Gi-Oh! For the next season, and regardless of what that was, point is, we came to the topic of the anime. What would the character be? How would he design it? And the design that he ended up going with was a girl by the name of Yuichiro, and bringing back the Supreme King plotline. And from there, that was the end of it. That was all the Yuichiro was. Until, after a lot of thinking, I discovered a way on how to translate the Super Robot Wars franchise into D&D. And I was talking about it to my brother, and it could be a one-on-one D&D game. Because of the type of game that it was, it didn't need more than one player. And, well, we enjoyed the idea, and we started brainstorming. And one idea that he came up with was that Yu-Gi-Oh! OC that he made up uh, should be the main character. Because why not? And it was a very unique idea. And I like to think I mixed in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Plotline well enough within the campaign itself. Uh, so Yuichiro turned from a Yu-Gi-Oh! OC into a Super Robot Wars uh, original generation styled character. And that wasn't all bad. That seemed pretty good, especially with what was going on. And from there, Yuichiro just sort of started getting powers to, symbolize the magic in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Universe and the type of robot she was using for the Super Robot Wars style Dungeons and Dragons game. But that's not where the tale ends either. And you might think, oh, how could it not end there? You literally use the character for a campaign. How can it not end? Well, you see, in Super Robot Wars, there's this thing called the Cross Gates, which basically allow for dimension travel. When I was trying to introduce a friend of mine into D&D, he wanted my brother to join in the campaign. And this campaign was Pokemon Tabletop. A broken game as is. My brother refused to join under any circumstance unless Yuichiro was involved. Not because he adored Yuichiro or anything, but because he was too lazy to make a new character. Me not caring and just wanting to introduce my friend to the concept of Dungeons and Dragons, agreed. This was a mistake. A huge mistake. As for all of those unaware, Pokemon Tabletop uses the trainer classes of the series to basically create the environment, to create the character sheets, and you can mix match your trainer class. Very interesting concept, but with the version that we were using especially, the mechanics were so beyond broken it was absurd. Yuichiro, because of the type of character she was in the previous story, which, of course, they just had to be connected because of Yuichiro's backstory, and the crossgates were a thing, so it made sense. Yuichiro was forcefully thrown into a type of fighter. She was a fighter that was an aura user and a weapon master, which later we found out is the most broken combination in the game, as basically weapon masters give you absurd bonuses to your HP and give you absurd bonuses to your attack rolls, and it just gives you absurd bonuses. And the aura user basically gives you access to Pokemon moves which are much stronger than the basic attacks that trainers have access to. And it also gives you access to something even more broken: the ability to enchant your weapon with any Pokemon type. So you can do basic attacks of whatever Pokemon type. So forget doing Pokemon moves. You can just enchant your weapon with whatever's super effective against what you're up against, and then you just do double damage for no reason. It's as broken as it sounds. And just to give you an idea of how broken this character was, the average level 100 Pokemon has roughly 300 HP. Like, roughly 330 is the number. Yuichiro, not even close to her max level, had over 500 HP. And the damage output that she did was more than your average Pokemon. That's how absurd this character was. And not to mention that, this character is also the character that is known for the "Hey DM, hear me out here" card. And the problem is that since her stats were so high and the types of things that she was doing was so insane already, as a DM, I really couldn't say no. And this character became so ungodly absurd, it became a meme. It also didn't help that this character, in order to add to its meme-like sake, since her character arc was finished because of the Robot Wars campaign prior, the character was reduced to making nothing but anime and movie references that pretty much no one else got, except for, like, me. Heck, there was even a super boss fight that ended up happening that Yuichiro ended up befriending by saying Mewtwo's lines. And I can get into the nitty-gritty details of what made this character absurd, but I think that's about it that I'm going to cover, because otherwise, this video, I would imagine, would be 3 hours long, as I would have to cover pretty much every detail of the campaign. I'll probably make it a storytime series that it would be dubbed The Tales of Yuichiro, and go specifically into the Pokemon Tabletop campaign where all the shit happened. That, or I'll just cover everything in the Robot Wars campaign as well, as there was some absurdity there too. So, the takeaway from the story, yeah, don't bring back characters if they're going to be absurd. Make sure that the characters are understood in the setting that they belong in. And if you have to have a returning character, make sure that you look at the abilities that they're going to get and make sure that they're balanced and allocated for the setting. To be fair, though, it's just a fault. This case is just a fault of Pokemon Tabletop for having abilities that are unbalanced as hell. But until the next time of the Tales of Yuichiro, as I'm going to dub this, I'll see you next time. So, until then, ta-ta.